Hello, viewers. Welcome to today's session. Our today's topic is Economic Returns to Higher Education. Please watch the full video carefully and write down the important points. At the end, you will find some multiple choice questions to check and strengthen your learning. Let us explore the concept of economic returns to higher education. The concept of economic returns to higher education refers to the benefits, especially monetary or financial gains, that individuals, society, and the economy obtain as a result of investing in higher education. These returns can be analyzed both at the individual level, private returns, and the societal level, social returns. Economic returns to higher education are the outcomes measured in terms of income, productivity, employment opportunities, and other economic benefits that individuals and societies gain from obtaining college or university education. In simpler terms, it answers the question: is investing in higher education worth it economically? Types of economic returns. 1. Private returns. These are the personal financial benefits and individual gains from acquiring higher education. Examples: higher salaries, better job security, opportunities for promotions, career mobility, etc. 2. Social returns. These refer to the collective benefits to society, including increase in national productivity, reduction in crime rates, improved civic participation, enhanced public health, greater innovation and technological progress, etc. Measurement of returns. 1. Rate of return analysis, a common method used to calculate the returns on educational investment. Compares the costs of education, tuition fees, opportunity costs, etc., with the additional income earned over a lifetime. 2. Cost benefit analysis. CBA involves calculating and comparing all costs of higher education, direct and indirect, with the monetary benefits received. 3. Earnings differential method compares the average income of graduates with non-graduates. Shows how education leads to higher lifetime earnings. Factors influencing economic returns. 1. Field of study, engineering, medicine, and law often yield higher returns compared to humanities or arts. 2. Institutional reputation. Graduates from prestigious institutions tend to earn more. 3. Geographical location. Urban graduates may get better opportunities. 4. Gender and social factors. Discrimination and socioeconomic background may affect returns. 5. Labor market conditions. Demand for skilled workers in the economy influences returns. Economic theory supporting higher education investment. 1. Human capital theory, developed by Theodore W. Schultz and later expanded by Gary Becker. Popularized in the 1960s. Core idea: education increases an individual's productivity by imparting knowledge, skills, competencies, and values. This increased productivity leads to higher earnings and better job performance. Assumptions: education is an investment in human capital, similar to investing in machinery in industrial economics. The more educated a person is, the more productive they are. Wages are determined by marginal productivity. Implications: governments and individuals are justified in investing in education due to high social and private returns. Education leads to economic development and social mobility. Example: a person with a master's degree in computer science is believed to be more productive and skilled, hence earning a higher salary than someone with only a high school diploma. 2. Signaling theory. proposed by Michael Spence in 1973. Core idea: education does not necessarily make a person more productive, but acts as a signal to employers about a candidate's innate ability, intelligence, work ethic, or conformity. Education serves as a screening device for employers to identify individuals with desirable characteristics. Assumptions: there is asymmetry of information in the job market. Employers cannot perfectly know a candidate's productivity before hiring. Education credentials are indicators, signals of competence rather than actual productivity. More able individuals find it easier and less costly to attain higher education, hence, they use it to distinguish themselves. Implications: the economic value of education lies in its signaling power, not in actual skill formation. Some educational investments may be inefficient if they are used only for signaling and not for learning. The labor market may overemphasize degrees instead of actual skill or performance. Example: a person earns an MBA not because they gained practical skills but because it signals to employers that they are ambitious, capable, and hardworking. Dear viewers, let's solve some important multiple choice questions based on the presentation. 1. Which theory suggests that education increases productivity through skill acquisition? A. Signaling theory. B. Credentialism theory. C. Human capital theory. D. Cultural capital theory. 2. Who is the main proponent of signaling theory in education economics? A. Gary Becker. B. Theodore Schultz. C. Michael Spence. D. Amartya Sen. 3. Economic returns to higher education are typically measured in terms of A. Classroom engagement. B. Teaching quality. C. Increased earnings. D. Institutional reputation. 4. According to human capital theory, higher education leads to A. Credential inflation. B. Better networking only. C. Increased productivity. D. Decreased motivation. 5. Human capital theory assumes that wages are based on A. Age of the employee. B. Social background. C. Marginal productivity. D. Geographical region. 6. Signaling theory is most applicable in contexts where A. Skills are measurable. B. Employer information is perfect. C. There is information asymmetry. D. Labor is self-employed. 7. Which of the following best describes economic return on education? A. Social status of the graduate. B. Tuition cost of the course. C. Increase in lifetime earnings. D. Number of years studied. 8. Which economist is associated with the development of human capital theory? A. Ivan Illich. B. Michael Spence. C. Gary Becker. D. Jean Piaget. 9. In signaling theory, education acts as A. Learning method. B. Skill building process. C. Productivity enhancer. D. Screening device. 10. Which of the following can be seen as a private return to higher education? A. Government tax revenue. B. Better public health. C. Personal income growth. D. Social cohesion. Thank you, don't miss out. Subscribe now to my YouTube channel, Education and Teacher Education, for insightful content and valuable resources.